And welcome to the M2 podcast. I'm your host, Michael Ante, my KyleHeath. This is the show where we do this week's review of new video game industry related stuff. So esports personalities, overall video games, new releases, because we're going to talk about new releases for this, and technology and innovation. But before we get into it, Kyle, would you like to fill us in? How was your weekend? We spent it together, but what have
Yeah,
you been up to?
true. We did spend it together. Before we move on a little bit, I just want to say
Okay.
we got to move your mic a little bit close because I think you were talking a little faint and it was cutting
Oh
out a little
no.
bit. But you're good. You're good.
Are we doing better now?
You're chilling. You're chilling.
All right,
But yeah.
we'll bring it close.
So, anyways, yeah, dude, good weekend, good vibes, good everything. Yeah, overall enjoyed the hangouts. In terms of games I played, I'll get to that first. There's not really much to talk about. I did hop back on Hogwarts though last night. Played a little bit of that. Got a little bit further, got a couple hours further. I think I officially hit 20 hours, 21 hours. So, it's so wild too because I feel like there's still so much left on on like, you know, just the overall main story and like side stuff, and there's just I don't know how much longer. I feel like I could probably get 20 more hours easily, but I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch. I'm not quite sure yet, but yeah, it's one of those things that I don't want to look at what part of the story I'm in because I just want to experience everything without, like, you know, spoiling anything.
Yeah, like
So yeah,
experience it like organically and stuff like that.
yeah, exactly.
Just like let it
Yeah.
go. That's probably the best way to play games, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think it is too, especially for games I care about. It's like the way I normally go. So anyway, yeah, just kind of playing, getting through things, but I'm still enjoying it 21 hours in, which is exciting for me. So yeah, definitely looking forward to playing more of that. But yeah, I mean the main event this past weekend, you know, I wasn't gaming. I was at HCS Charlotte with you and the crew. We were all hanging out.
Yes, sir.
It was a good time. Not only just the event, but also just hanging out and get to catch up with everyone and see everyone. It's so wild because, like, for most of these people, I feel like, you know, especially for our little group, I mean, we've seen each other so much now. It's like, you know, it's just we come together. It's just a huge, like, one huge vibe. So it's always good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was great seeing everybody. I think it was
Yeah,
really good seeing you, good seeing Nick, and I felt like we had a really good weekend.
yeah, we really did. I think the best thing and the best part is, you know, we, of course, we went to the event, you know, every day to some capacity, but also we were able to make kind of a little like after party on Sunday, which is super dope because, like, I haven't been able to make one yet at any of the events I went to last year. So, and you know, I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna be able to make another event this year. So I think for me, just kind of like I wanted to go all out, kind of in a sense of just, you know, heading to that party and seeing everyone. So it was good to get that, just so, you know.
Oh yeah,
I got that. I want to say bucket list, but you know, got that item checked off because that was something I definitely wanted to do an event.
yeah. It was a good time. It was like experiencing Champion Sunday after the fact for the after party. So it was such a good vibe. It was really good to see everybody. It was really cool to see people like I think the one thing that I thought was pretty cool is like seeing some of the pro players at the bar having a good time. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, they're people, but it was just like it's like, wow, this guy just won the tournament and he's just chilling here.
yeah,
Like,
right.
yeah,
It's
whatever,
like
no big deal.
he's not really doing anything crazy. It's just like, oh, we're all just chilling.
100%,
But,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, just seeing some old friends and just seeing, like, and, you know, funny enough, just seeing the old like your crew and the people that you normally like talk to and stuff and get to catch up with. It's always cool seeing that dynamic too. I think
Yeah,
you have a few people that, like, I always notice you kind of like always touch base with, and your crew is always super dope, like always. So like everyone you hang out with is like super chill. I love them.
I appreciate that, man. I like to pretend I choose some of my like good friends. I
Yeah,
think like if I don't really mess with somebody, it's like I'm not gonna go out and like disrespect them in any way. It's just like, but I will keep a distance.
yeah,
It's like that old adage of like it's kind of like what's the saying that people always use? It's like they're good small do
yeah,
like a polite way to say they ain't about it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, it's always good seeing that, do all that, but yeah, I mean, just the event as a whole, you know. I had to get the Champ White optic, and sure enough, they took the
I saw
event.
that.
So it's always cool to see. And they get the SSG on. I got the little World Champ patch, which I thought was a nice little adage. Just throwing that patch on there, but yeah, I know. I finally got a jersey that's like my size too. This is a medium jersey, so it's finally one
Nice,
that
man.
it's one that I think has the type of fit that I was looking for, which is good. So yeah, but this was
Yeah,
I
that's
think this
perfect.
is the only merch I bought too. Just this. I didn't really go. Normally I'll buy like a couple things for this event. I just bought this and called it enough. So
Yeah. I got this shirt, the SSG shirt at the event, and I got FaZe. I didn't get anything for Optic. I was looking at their hats and I just wasn't interested. They had a couple of off-branded Hornets gear,
yeah,
as you probably noticed, the Charlotte Hornets. It kind of bothered me that they didn't have the antennas for Buzz
yeah,
because it's like I know you got to be off because
yeah.
you copyright claims,
Right. Yeah.
but it's like he's an insect without antlers.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? Like
Yeah.
antennas?
It was kind of weird. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not really
Yeah.
better. They only use Carolina blue, so I was kind of a letdown there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, the Carolina blue is interesting. Yeah, it wasn't like I mean, I don't know. The reason I love like the Orlando shirt is because like they themed out the logo,
yeah,
which like
that's what I wanted for
yeah,
Charlotte. For people that don't know what it looks like, and it was basically tropical palm tree.
yeah,
Is my mic cutting out?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh
It's
no!
like just like every now and again, like you're just sending just cuts. I don't know why.
All right, maybe I just reset it, so hopefully it works better. But
All right, word.
basically, the idea is that the palm tree with the colorful like background, looking like a sunset, was perfect for HCS gear.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, I think I actually just watched that shirt today. So if I wanted to,
Nice.
I could probably walk 10 feet and pull it out. But you've seen it before on the show. I've worn it before.
Yeah.
Go, give the podcast some love, dude. Watch past episodes. You know what I'm saying? You'll find it.
Facts, man. Facts.
But yeah, dude, that was like a super dope concept. I feel like they didn't really do that for Charlotte, which is kind of disappointing. Because I wanted
Agreed.
something like really sick. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't end up purchasing that shirt because I was just like, yeah, this is kind of just it's a blue shirt to me. Like it's got the little Charlotte thing on the back, but it's like, well, it's on the back, man.
Yeah, but who? Yeah, I was the same way. Maybe if there was something a little bit more Charlotte oriented, I definitely would have been more interested if it was more Charlotte, but it wasn't.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. But yeah, the event was Halo event. It was still entertaining. I think
mhm.
just getting to like just I mean the biggest reason obviously is just chilling in person. I think the biggest thing and just like getting to experience all that like firsthand is always dope. Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see how the optic event goes and kind of who sticks around and whatnot. But yeah, more than likely I will be watching those events from the comfort of my home. So um still excited, but yeah, good weekend. Charlotte's pretty sick. I saw people burning out, doing donuts in front of the NASCAR Hall of Fame Saturday night. That was pretty wild. Yeah, there's a lot to love about that city. I think that was just cool, kind of like, dude, just seeing all the bars and stuff. Then we kind of walked around and did all that. So it was good having a nice tour guide.
Hey man, I was trying to do my best, trying to give you the most opportunity you possibly could to experience my city. I love this place.
Yeah.
It's the best for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. It made me all giddy when you were like, dude, I love that people love my city because like there's just so many people that were just like loving it there. You're just like, dude, this my city.
Every single person I talked to, they were just like, I think this is the best of, just based on the location. And that was before I told them. I was like, yeah, I'm from here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a couple of people are just like trying to tell me about this, city and like where to go, but it was like, dude, I live here. This is my home.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, super dope stuff. Great event, great times, great everything, and yeah, got some games in. Did you get a chance to game it all? Like since the event's been over and everything.
No, not particularly. I've mostly been spending my time trying to get the original Xbox soft mod up and I was trying to do like adding all my games to it, trying to get emulators set up. So mostly I've been kind of like an engineer.
Yeah.
I haven't had an opportunity to really game, but that's kind of gonna be my plan later
Yeah.
this week for sure. There's some games coming out this month that I'm pretty excited about. Um, there's some games that are currently out, like single player games. Just to name a few, it's like Hogwarts Legacy. I know you're playing that. You mentioned it earlier. I'm really excited to get on that game, and I want to finish up the Call of Duty storyline. I want to finish up Cyberpunk. I haven't touched those two games in a while because I was coaching HCS. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my goal.
Yeah, I do. I think for me another one, Atomic Hearts. I've
Yes,
heard mixed things about it, but I think most of the mixed things have just been like performance related. So I'm hoping, within like a couple of
like all
patches.
things.
Yeah. Like I'm hoping in a couple of patches, especially on PC, it'll be like in a state that'll be stable. Because it just seems like right now it's not. Which is unfortunate because it seems like a good game. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna wait for a couple patches on that before I hop in, but that's on my list for sure. Um yeah, and then we'll be talking about some games this month I'm looking forward to, so we get to that segment, it's gonna be nice.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to pull up Atomic Hearts right now because I know it just came, and I'm curious if it's on Game Pass. Do you remember?
It is. Should be on Game Pass.
It
Today's day and
is.
date.
Yes, I
So yeah,
just finally loaded. Yeah, I see it now.
yeah. So yeah, I
Three
mean
different editions. Yeah.
that is ready to play, but until some patches come out, I think it will. I think I'll wait it
Yeah.
out.
Not a bad idea. It looks great though.
Yeah,
You and I were both excited about it when we saw the preview.
yeah, yeah, dude. I mean the previews look disgustingly good. So but yeah, excited to hop in that.
Let's get into the first article.
Let's just get into it, dude. Why not? Let's get into it. We have a banger. A banger. Look, I'm just gonna preface this.
Who's it
Also,
from?
I'm gonna preface this also by saying, might be kind of a short week, but we got some bangers nonetheless. Short but sweet
Yeah.
bangers. Don't worry, no, we got you. But yeah, we're gonna start off this article from The Verge. Jay Peters at The Verge to be specific. And this is the next big Olympics esport competition will feature chess and just dance. The International Olympic Committee is taking next steps into esports competitions and is adding chess and just dance to the mix. Starting today, the IOC is kicking off the Olympic Esports Series, which expands upon the Olympic Virtual Series it put on in 2021 with some new events. Like the Olympic Virtual Series, Olympic Esports Series will focus on virtual representations of physical activities. And while that means you won't see any Overwatch 2 gold medalists, the IOC is adding some entries to the lineup that adhere less to the traditional concept of, quote, sport. New from Olympic Esports Series are archery, tennis, taekwondo, pretty interesting stuff there. Just Dance, Ubisoft's hit dancing franchise, and chess, which will sit alongside returning competitions in motorsport via Gran Turismo, cycling, baseball, and sailing. Chess to me feels particularly notable given how huge it has become on Twitch, which is actually a really good point. Like chess has like exploded on Twitch, especially post pandemic.
Yes.
I think there could be a huge draw to watch the fight for the first Olympic esports chess champion. The Olympic Esports Series technically kicks off today, March 1st, with initial qualifiers. The competitions will build up to an in-person event, Olympic Esports Week, that sets to take place in Singapore on June 22nd to the June 25th. Dude, there's a lot of stuff.
Cool.
There's a lot of stuff in the esports, in the Olympic esports games in general that's just like your standard sports. But I think the fact that they're adding chess is really interesting. Good move. But like the Just Dance one is like that one's like whoa to me. Like, it's pretty sick.
I would agree with that. This has probably been a long time coming. Uh, they were doing FPS shooters. Well, that's kind of first person shooters in X Games for a while, and people were winning gold medals in that. Like there are a couple of gold medalists for Halo and I
Yeah,
think Call of Duty.
yeah, caught at it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but I also think like X Games in general has been kind of that like niche sport category that's like, is it a sport? Is it just a passion? Is it a hobby? Like that kind of thing.
Right.
But when it gets to the Olympic stage, that's a worldwide stage where it's like, okay, it's here to stay. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool that they're adding in like archery, tennis, taekwondo, esports series. Like, which games do that? That makes me like kind of interesting. The chess is like obvious. I feel like chess is
Yeah.
such a wide. I think it's the most played game in the world. is
Yeah.
chess.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, everybody understands the rules for the most part, but motorsport is gonna be pretty sick. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Gran Turismo. It'd be dude, yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty rad. I wonder if it's gonna be like an iRacing type thing where you're like where they have like the wheel and everything, or if it's gonna be like
gotta be. It's
yeah,
gotta
I
be.
feel like it has to be, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I think it's kinda strange how they don't have, like, they're using Gran Turismo, which is fine, I get that, it's pretty like, it's a proper sim, but iRacing's on a different level.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because Gran Turismo looks better, it's more
Yeah, maybe.
aesthetically pleasing. Yeah.
Mayhaps, mayhaps. Yeah, there's a lot to choose from there. So yeah, it's definitely interesting why Gran Turismo was there. I mean, even Forza, I think it's kind of like their realism is insane, right? It's like, yeah, I'm not sure what the deciding factor was. I'm assuming it's probably aesthetic.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. What, are you gonna compete? Are you gonna try to become an Olympian
Dude, imagine.
and Just
Uh,
Dance?
yeah, well, I'm assuming basketball is probably what like 2K. Baseball is like I don't know. I would say MLB The Show, but that's like a PlayStation exclusive. I don't know if there's I don't know if they use that. It makes me wonder if they're using those like big name titles though for those games. I'm assuming they are.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
but I did not watch 2021, so unfortunately I can't say. But who knows? Dude, I might tune in, try and see a couple of these streams if they stream any of it. I think it'd be pretty dope. Um,
Yeah, why not? It's
yeah.
so the Olympic Committee is basically all changed. No, no, I'm thinking of FIFA. FIFA is highly corrupt. I mean, I'm sure the Olympics are too, but whatever. Let's not get into that. But
So,
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that there's actually esports becoming on the main stage now.
yeah,
I don't think I would ever think that like 10 years ago. It's like, by the way, we're gonna end up on the Olympics and win an Olympic gold medal for chess.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
wild.
it kind of makes you wonder too, like if they were to add a big game like COD, well, I guess they would need to get worldwide representation though, right? Like different
Yes.
teams in different countries. So, you'd have to have one game. Like honestly, I'm thinking probably something
Yeah.
like League or something like that would probably be the closest to have like a worldwide, like with someone from each country could represent. But I feel like that could be a challenge for maybe like some of the more popular games, like popular in the U.S. mainly, and then trying to find people elsewhere. Um,
Yeah, honestly, it does make sense that when you make that type of comparison with what's the most played or what activity is the most, well, like what people do the most across the board, regardless of whether or not it's an esport or electronic video game, or that was redundant, but I think you understand what I'm saying, where it's like everybody knows how to cycle. Everybody understands baseball. That's a worldwide sport already. It's just like you're playing the video game version of it. Sailing is the same. Racing, motorsports. Like, it makes sense that they're doing those first before they get into something that's a little bit more niche, like a first person shooter or what you're
yeah.
saying with like League. Imagine Smite. That would be kind of sick.
Dude, don't even say that'd be so sick. You
Yeah, I
be in the
think
Olympics for Smite? Could you imagine?
yeah,
Maybe one day.
it'd be interesting. It would be really cool with like CS:GO because that is like a worldwide esport.
That's actually yeah. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're right. That's probably
10-year-old game, man.
it's the most popular
More active than it's
FPS.
ever been.
Uh,
Yeah, by
so yeah,
far.
so yeah,
So
it's a good point. That'd be a good one. I'd love to see CS:GO Olympics. You kidding me?
that'd be cool.
That'd be
Yeah.
rad. Hmm. Yeah, there's so many ways this can go, but it's good to see that the list is expanding ever so slightly. So we'll probably I have a feeling we'll probably see some popular titles get added on in the future.
Yeah, I definitely think it's safe to say. Hopefully, they start with something like COD or Halo. I mean, Halo's kind of dead, but Call of Duty would be around for a while. Maybe CS:GO, maybe Valorant. I just want to see a shooter, I think. I feel like those take
Same.
the most hand-eye coordination.
Yeah. Takes serious skill to be good at those games, so yeah. I'd love to see it.
Facts. StarCraft, maybe? League of Legends?
Yeah, right. StarCraft, yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright, should we head on to the next article?
I think so.
Okay, so the next one is by The Verge, our good friend Tom Warren, who doesn't know us, but we
I
cover his
wish.
stuff all the
I
time.
wish.
He's on Twitter all the time too.
Yeah.
Always posting stuff. I'm pretty excited to talk about this article. So the title of the article is Microsoft opens up PC Game Pass to 40 new countries in big subscription push. Game Pass is now available in 86 countries as a preview version of Microsoft's PC Game Pass service launches in many additional European markets. So Microsoft is bringing a preview to PC Game Pass starting with 40 new countries today. The preview will include access to all hundreds of games available at Microsoft's PC Game Pass subscription for a special test for the first month. The 40 new markets see the service expand to countries across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, including Croatia, Iceland, Libya, Qatar, and the Ukraine. The PC Game Pass subscription will be available in these 40 markets throughout the Xbox Insider Hub app, which is basically like a beta entry kind of trial version, and it's which will unlock a preview version of the service before it's launched daily. And this is a quote from Xbox. It is in the coming months, PC Game Pass will launch in these countries for all players to experience, explains Jarrett West, CVP. I'm not even sure what that is. Chief Vice President, maybe, of Gaming Market at Xbox. And just going off the list, holy crap, that's a lot. So
Oh
scroll
my
down here.
god.
The 40 countries. We're looking at Albania, Algeria, Bahrain, Bolivia, which I'm pretty surprised by, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Bulgaria, Costa Rica, Croatia, Cyprus, Ecuador, Egypt, El Salvador, Estonia, Georgia, Guatemala, Honduras, Iceland, Kuwait, Latvia, Libya, Liechtenstein, who I thought they already had it because all their neighboring countries have it. Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Moldova, Montenegro, Morocco, Nicaragua, North Macedonia, Oman, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Qatar, Romania, Serbia, Slovenia, Tunisia, Ukraine, and Uruguay.
Oh my gosh, that's 40 countries. Oh jeez. It's
Yeah, I read
crazy.
them all. I'm actually pretty surprised that some of these aren't already added.
Yeah.
I'm like Uruguay is kind of shocking. Paraguay, like they're even Panama. Panama is like I'm surprised the Game Pass wasn't already there because the neighboring countries are already part of the Xbox like umbrella already or have Xbox Live. So maybe the servers haven't been brought to those countries yet. Like
Yeah. Or I guess more than
possibly.
likely. I mean, I would agree to a certain extent, though. Yeah, it's definitely kind of weird because, like, yeah, I mean, I definitely with you. I think, yeah, I mean, those countries you named, I mean, yeah, I guess like Croatia and countries like that are kind of small, but I mean, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's kind of weird. I mean, because there's a lot of these countries that, like you said, they neighbor countries that already have it, so it's like it must just be an infrastructure thing, I guess.
yeah, that's like my initial thoughts. I think some of these make sense because they have like a lot of Western tourism would probably be the best way to put it. Like English speaking countries, likely. So a good example of that is Qatar. Since like FIFA World Cup just happened, they're very developing. They're fast growing. There's a lot of people from internationals. What are they called? I can't. It starts with an X. EX. But basically, it's like an immigrant, like expats. Expats. That's what they're called.
Oh
People
yeah,
that immigrant for work and stuff like that. They go to Qatar. Same thing with the UAE, but I'm pretty sure the UAE has Game Pass, possibly. So that's not really that shocking. But I mean, Honduras, Guatemala, even Colombia. I thought they would have Game Pass by now.
yeah. I mean, dude, Ecuador, on.
Yeah, Ecuador is on that list too. So maybe it was just like an infrastructure thing. I think it's really good that they're finally branching out and launching the Game Pass on these countries.
Yeah, it's pretty
Because
sick.
yeah, I never knew that Xbox didn't really have much of an audience down in South America. It's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, yeah, that
I know
definitely
I,
is
I know they
surprising.
they definitely have Brazil because they have a
Yeah,
Brazil most played games list. But the fact that like Paraguay and Uruguay, how do you not, dude?
no, yeah, it's got to be infrastructure stuff, which is kind of weird, but I mean, yeah, it's always good to see Xbox expanding and just once again proving that want to get games everywhere, Mike. They want it everywhere. They want it on all devices. They
Yeah.
want you playing. They want you playing Tomb Raider on your fridge, Mike. That's what they want.
We've been talking about it for ages. Have you noticed the Twitter spat that's been going on with the Xbox Game Pass and Sony fanboys saying that Xbox is basically like given up on selling consoles. Like they're just now becoming woke to what we've been saying for the last like 2 years
Yeah.
about how like Xbox doesn't care about consoles. They don't care about hardware anymore. The only goal now is to get you on Game Pass. That is it.
Yep. That
We say it all the
subscription model,
time.
baby. A
We say it so
guaranteed
often.
monthly income, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. And like, if they keep adding these first party games or like these really, really high AAA, highly rated AAA titles to Game Pass, it's GG's, bro. Like,
It's
I'm going
GG.
Game Pass all day.
It's GG's, dude. You know, do you understand the catalog I have on Game Pass that I need to
It's
play?
same.
Like,
So
it's
I
unreal.
have like a growing list
Oh, it's
where I'm
unreal.
like, I got them on like the I own list, but need to download list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. It's
it's-
a huge list for me, all right? And you know what? That subscription service makes it worth it.
it
Makes it worth
does
it to check out
absolutely
those games.
100%, man. You only need like I mean, some of these games are just single player games that you can beat in like a week or two for like you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I think people are sleeping on it, especially the indie games, and you can really only get that stuff relatively cheap with a Game Pass. $15 a month
Yeah.
and you can play all the indie games. Like,
Yeah, dude. You
come
just
on, dude.
come on, man. Like, just come on, dude. Look at this image. Look at this image. Understand? This this here image is yeah. There you go.
Can you name all the ones in the image right there?
Uh,
I can name like three,
listen, dude,
four of
this has
them.
got to be FIFA. That's Mbappe. Is that extra points?
Yeah,
I need the
yeah,
player.
that's it. That's Mbappe.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody knows Mbappe. You know the
yeah,
one next to it. It's Minecraft.
yeah. It's Minecraft, obviously. This
The one
is this. This is Age of
that's the one I
Empire.
don't know.
It's no. It's is it Age? I want to say New Age of Empire, but I'm wrong.
That is on Game Pass, so it might be.
Yeah,
But the
Empire.
other one's Forza and Microsoft Flight Sim.
Yeah, Microsoft Flight Sim, Forza. Yeah,
Yeah.
straight bangers, bro. And you forget
Y-
those that don't remember. EA Play is on Game Pass. It's included.
And Ubi and
Yeah,
Uplay
and you play. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Epic Games. Some of the Epic Games stuff is on there too. And
Telling you, dude.
sooner or later, which leads into the next article that you're going to be covering, is possibly Activision Blizzard.
Hey, yo,
What a segue.
I like that. I liked it. Hell yeah. I don't even. I don't. We don't even cuss on the show, but I had to for that. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, Mike.
I'm getting good at this. I'm getting good.
uh, Microsoft. We got some developing news on Microsoft's deal with the EU trying to get the acquisition for Activision Blizzard pulled through. Microsoft is charming the offensive with COD deals, and it's reportedly paid off. The
The
EU.
offensive.
Yeah, there's yeah, they're going hard. Microsoft's been on a tear recently, offering anyone and everyone 10-year Call of Duty contracts like it's going out of style. Nintendo and Nvidia have both pinned deals with the US tech giant in recent months, ensuring that COD will keep appearing on those companies' platforms for at least a decade to come. To come, should Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard goes through. Microsoft has also offered the same deal to Sony and Steam in the past, but those two shot it down. The former because it won't settle for anything less than stopping Microsoft's acquisition, and the latter because Gabe Newell didn't really see the point, which is interesting. It's Gabe, you know. I guess shouldn't have expected more. But it turns out that it might be enough for the EU. 3 sources tell Reuters that Microsoft's deal spree will probably be enough to address the EU antitrust concerns surrounding the Activision acquisition, clearing the way for European regulators to greenlight the deal at some point in the future. Of course, it's still likely that Sony will do whatever it can between now and then to change that. The spat of COD deals have been part of an attempt by Microsoft to convince regulators across the world that it can be trusted to be a responsible steward of Activision's myriad properties. Many of Sony's complaints and regulators' concerns about the deal have revolved around the possibility that Microsoft might cut off its competitors' access to COD, fear that Microsoft has been keen to. What's that word, dude? I don't even want to try. Like, you know what?
Asajj?
Assage? Assage. Is it French? Assage.
Uh,
Assuage.
assuage.
Assuage. I like that.
Assuage. Yes, it
Assuage.
is assuage. It's been
Assuage.
keen. Microsoft has been keen to assuage.
Assuage. Nice little. See, look at these. Look at these journalists being, reading all these,
Highbrow.
books and just sprinkling in some like spice in there. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they're hitting us with these what do you call it? SAT words. Shout out if you're American.
uh, it says, I'll continue to read. It says, the person that wrote this article up here. Let me check real quick. Joshua Wallens. He said, I have to wonder if Sony might regret making such a fuss about COD in particular, rather than the broader implications of the deal as a whole. It's not that I don't believe Sony is worried about COD, but I've always figured that it chose to base its campaign around the series because it was immediately recognizable, something that would garner mainstream press coverage and would possibly whose possible departure from PlayStation would spook Sony fans. But if Reuters sources are right, it's presented Microsoft with a pretty easy regulatory problem to fix. All it has to do is commit to contracts like the ones with Sony and Nvidia to stop people worrying. Fight's not over yet.
Yeah.
Even if the EU is set to wave the acquisition through, Microsoft still has to mollify the US FTC and the UK Competition and Markets Authority, the latter of which suggested that Activision be broken up before Microsoft would be allowed to acquire it. That wasn't a final ruling. Both regulators could still be persuaded, like the EU apparently has been. Microsoft still has to work cut out to get this over the line, and that's the main thing. They won these. They could be winning these EU regulators over, but they still have two pretty big giants and boss battles they have to defeat.
They really do.
Before they can
Great
get
use
through.
of terms.
These bosses, man. These are in game. These are like 3, 4, 5 phase bosses that go from ground bosses to flying, and then just like somehow the last phase is in space, like in the Sonic game. Dude, it's just wild, man. Like, sorry for those who didn't play the new Sonic game, but that end.
Now you know.
I'm sorry. The ending boss battle is ridiculous. I won't go into more detail, but yeah, you'll see it if you ever play it.
That's another game I need to play. So how do you feel about everything that Microsoft's trying to do right now? Obviously, we've talked about it a couple of times with just like they offered Nintendo the deal, they offered Steam the deal, not Steam. Well, they did offer Steam the deal. Steam said no. I have theories for why. And then yeah, Nintendo was probably the biggest one. Nvidia, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
What's your take on it? Is Sony going to cave?
I mean, I agree. I think I agree with the aspect that like Sony is probably gonna do whatever they can to stop it, just because like at the end of the day, it would benefit them to like not have it go through. Now, whether or not it's worth it, I know we've gone over before. Whether or not it's worth for Sony to even like try to stop this, or like if they're really at risk by this going through. I mean, it's PlayStation, dude. You got so many people playing, and you have so many consoles sold, and people are ride or die on that thing. And your
It's a fact.
first party's unbeatable. Hate to say it, it just is. Like the first
Yeah.
party games are just unreal. I know. Obviously, Microsoft has been lacking in that department the past couple of years, but that's just because after all the acquisitions, they have all their studios cooking. You know what I'm saying? Trying to
They do.
some
Yeah.
good products. So if not next year, then probably the year after, we'll start seeing a lot of Xbox first party bangers. Excited for that. So who knows? Maybe the landscape will be a little bit different in the coming years as to like okay, maybe like if it does go through of like hey maybe Sony was right in trying to do something, but only time will tell in that aspect. Yeah, who knows? They like I said, they still have two big regulators to go through, so it's definitely is a small victory if they approve it, but at the same time, and I mean, don't get me wrong, they could certainly use this as leverage if they were to if they do end up winning, this battle. So see, I don't know, it's looking kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off of that, I think where I'm at is like so Steam turning down the offer and Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve Steam, basically saying he didn't see the point in accepting it. It's so justified because it's like anybody that's playing COD on the PC is doing it through the Activision Blizzard app
Yeah.
and Battle.net. Like, why do you have Steam? Like, you don't need it. Do they even sell it on Steam? I don't know.
Well, they do now. That's how I got Modern Warfare 2 on Steam.
Oh,
So they actually do
okay.
sell it, I think, on like both platforms.
Yeah, but I mean, it's probably such a small percentage that he's like, I don't care. Like, we're Steam.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
we're the go-to place for other games. Um, and PlayStation, I think PlayStation just freaking out because when you think Call of Duty, no, I think you think PlayStation more than any other console.
Yeah. I mean, it was on
When you
PlayStation for
think
so long, right? It's like,
it's been on PlayStation for like ever. I think the first Call of Duty I ever played was on the Xbox, but it was also launched on PlayStation at the same time.
yeah.
And there's like 15 different studios working on the franchise. So,
Yeah.
like, it's not that big of a deal to me. Even Destiny 2, I don't think of Xbox anymore. I always thought of like Sony as well. So I think Sony's going to be fine in the individual aspect of like new games. But I don't know. I think Sony must have realized how far behind the ball they actually are. Like,
Yeah.
because we talked about it initially, like with the Game Pass and everything that's going on, just Microsoft is so far ahead on where the industry is going that that I don't think Sony can ever catch up unless they do that dream build that I talked about. A Sony TV with the Sony PlayStation built into it. Do that, I'm buying the TV tomorrow. Like, GG's, no issues. I'll subscribe to whatever you want. But they aren't doing that. But you know who freaking did? Like 2 weeks after we mentioned this, is Samsung Microsoft. You can have stream everything on the Samsung TVs
It
for
works. It's
Xbox.
a streaming platform too, so you just stream it. You don't need a console. You don't have to worry about putting hardware in the TV. You just play the game.
And the crazy thing is like before you had to do xCloud streaming services, sure, there's input lag, but there was input lag when we were growing up using CRTVs. An original Xbox, original N64 is not that big of a deal when you're playing single player games. When you're just chilling on a TV, it's for a casual gamer. You don't care about input
Yeah, it
lag that
is.
much. You can adapt. But it's like if you're a hardcore gamer, you need the monitors, you need the wired. You're not
Yeah,
playing on the cloud.
yeah, for
But
real.
I don't know, man. When it comes to this Activision Blizzard purchase, I think they're gonna have to renegotiate the terms because it's gonna extend
Yeah,
too long. Maybe they'll try to break it up. I think EU might cave and just be like, yeah, actually, you know what? They're offering these 10-year committed deals. We don't see any issues in it. Go ahead.
yeah. Why
Uh,
not? It's a whole decade.
yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
much.
I also just have to piggyback off what you said towards the tail end of that, bro. Not gonna lie, when I sat on your couch this week, it was the perfect distance to the TV, and I was just sitting there like, dude, if I had a controller in my hand right now, vibing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, dude.
Like, dude, I was like, this is like the dream right here. Just like, give me a controller, I'm there for hours. You
I should have let you too.
know?
Because here's the cool thing. Side note, I've been soft modding my Xbox. If you guys didn't already hear that, but when I have that fully soft modded, it's a full emulator with like 16 different consoles for the year 2001.
Oh,
It's like, dude, and I can get myself wireless adapters I found online for like $20. You can use any controller you possibly want or have. You can use your cell phone if you want. Bro, GG's.
this man's
Like,
building a dream machine right here. That's crazy.
I'm reliving everything I wanted to do about 15 years ago because I
Yeah.
forgot you could do it. And then I came across it again and I was like, oh, yeah, you could do that. There are crazy things you can do with the Wii U as well.
Oh, really?
So, or not the Wii U, but the Wii, Nintendo Wii, soft modding the
Uh,
Wii.
I should look into that because I'm pretty sure I have a Wii just chilling.
Oh, I'll send you a video. It's pretty cool. You can play like all the original Nintendo games on all platforms. You can download every single Nintendo Wii game ever and like play it. So, I mean, it's probably against terms of service and Nintendo won't be happy, but just don't play online. By the way, they're bringing back the old servers through a soft mod. Fully supported. Like same thing with Xbox. Same
Yeah,
thing with the Xbox 360. There are people playing like OG Halo 3 with the ranks in matchmaking again.
that's wild. You know?
Yeah, so I think just to circle back around so this isn't completely off topic. Circle back around to like what Microsoft Activision Blizzard merge could mean and people freaking out. There's like possibly no new games coming out. It's like, dude, there's still games that were developed 10 years ago that you can go back and relearn, relove. don't concentrate on the graphics all the time. Just take the core mechanics and the storytelling for what it needs to be. Just take
Mhm.
it how you want to receive it and make the game your own. Because there are a lot of really good games out there. Like Ocarina of Time is considered one of the best video game of all time, still to this day.
Nope.
The only thing that comes close is Breath of the Wild. Both of them have mid to low tier level graphics. It's
At
just
the
what it is.
thing, at the end of the day, need these devs need to make a
Games
solid
that are
game
fun.
foundationally, right? Make a
Yes.
solid foundation. I don't care how it
And
looks.
yeah.
Solid
And then
foundation.
upgrade the graphics from there, dude.
A good game is a good game. Don't matter how it
Yeah.
looks. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
they have to do. They have to do that. Come on, devs, indie devs. You may be watching. I don't know. Maybe listening.
They
Just,
might.
just focus on the core mechanics, the core foundation. Because if you have a good foundation, it doesn't matter how it looks, as long as the
Yeah.
story or the theme of the game is solid and you present the story as it should. So it's just a home run, dude. Just out of the park.
That's true. Let me add on to that real quick about Microsoft and Xbox in general and indie devs. I recently learned that you can actually go on to Microsoft, Xbox.com, and you can apply to be a developer where you're trying to design your own game as an indie dev. They'll send you an Xbox Series X developer kit that you can use to program. You have to pay for it and stuff like that. And you basically test out your game to make sure it's compatible with all the other consoles so that you can go to like market because they're always trying to broadcast how indie dev friendly they are. And I think that is where Microsoft is going to beat everybody else in terms of consoles. Is like if they're giving the devs the tools to make their games on the PC and then port it to the console, optimize it, and then ship it to market for like I don't even know. Some of these games are going for like less than $10. And that can go a long way for some indie devs. Sell a good handful of those. Next thing you know, you're Hades and you're winning game of the year. And I don't think Sony, I don't think Nintendo, they're not doing that.
Yeah,
So I think it's looking bright for Microsoft,
I would agree.
regardless of if this deal goes through.
I would agree. I would definitely agree.
Yes, sir.
It's
But
looking good.
should we move on to the top 10 games from March 2023?
I think so. About that
All
time.
right. It is that time. So there are quite a few. We're gonna do just the top 10. This is actually I sent Kyle the link. If you're watching the video, you're gonna be able to see the actual trailers and some of the gameplay. This is by Game Ranks. So shout out to Game Ranks. I've been watching him for the better part of like 6 years. Um, what he does is just ranks games. Really, it's how he started. I'll go in order of release date here. So March 3rd, which would be Friday when you guys hear the publishing of this video, is Wu Long Fallen Dynasty. So Wu Long Fallen Dynasty comes out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. And Fallen Dynasty is basically a game that we saw several times, and I think it might have even been mentioned at E3. It looks like one of those like Sony Final Fantasy style games. Have you seen anything about this, Kyle?
I don't actually. I think I might have. I feel like I see a lot of games like this, like at like showcases and stuff, where like it's just kind of in passing, but you don't really like focus on it much. But yeah, I think I have seen this.
Yeah, it's like samurai, Japanese slash Chinese culture, anime almost. Like it looks so crazy, medieval kind of Elden Ring. It's
Yeah.
nuts, man. Uh, so the next game we got is Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. That comes out March 9th, sometime next week. Exactly next week on Thursday. And that is on PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And that game looks. I haven't actually watched much of this game, only that it's been pretty hyped in terms of like graphics. I find it to be a very unique graphic like depiction of a game. If you could look at it, it's like it's kind of old school style. It's run on the older system like Xbox One and PS4. so it's not going to be blowing your mind away or anything like that.
Yeah,
But
God. Looks kind of terrifying.
yeah, it almost looks like a horror game. It
Yeah,
might
for
even
sure.
be a horror game.
Yeah.
Following up with that is Bayonetta Origins, which is like I feel like one of the biggest franchises now. It's actually coming to Switch. So finally going from PC, PS4, and 5 to sorry, almost sneezed. Okay, so it's that good. I almost sneezed. Excuse me. Hopefully, the mic is actually working well enough so you didn't hear that. That game comes out March 17th, so midway through March. It's just your typical Bayonetta. I don't know what else to add or say about it. It's just Bayonetta on the Switch.
That's it. Ring a ding
Yeah,
ding.
ring a ding ding. I mean, needs no introduction. Here's another one that needs no introduction is WWE 2K23. That's on March 17th. That's on pretty much every platform. Literally every platform except for the Switch. PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And it reminds me of the old school WWF like No Mercy game that I used to play in N64, just bringing it back to what it used to be, having some classic characters, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, the like everybody, dude. It's kind of nuts. How
They're
you
all
feel
there,
about it?
baby. Dude,
Yeah,
WWE.
Goldberg's there.
Yeah, WWE is one of those games like it got so bad to the point they were like, all right, let's just like take a little break, figure out how to make this
Exactly.
game good because it used to just be like not playable.
It was
Um,
Bucky to all hell and stuff. They got the Undertaker.
uh,
Like every
uh,
all the classics are back, man.
yeah, I mean, for real. And I feel like they kind of had to do that, as the as games kept coming out, and they were just super buggy. They're just like, all right, well, if we make this game solid, let's just bring some people back and just make it, you can play anyone. Logan Paul's in this game now. I mean, come on, he like just joined wrestling. I feel like, and he's already in. So it's
That
pretty
is kind
good,
of
man.
crazy to think YouTubers are now in video games. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
Fortnite,
wild.
but WWE. Hey, whatever.
Yeah,
Celebs are celebs, man.
for sure.
Uh, let's hit the people. The next one, Deceive Incorporated. That is coming out March 21st, and it is going to be on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. And dude, I have no idea what this game is, but it looks insane. It's like a first-person shooter, run around, switch guns, have superpowers, fly cars, beat people up. It looks wild.
This looks like fun.
What's it looks cartoonish, but it's really good graphics. It's like I think it's a perfect art style.
Yeah, for real. It honestly is. I love this like kind of I would say Fortnite-y, but it's kind of like that.
Yeah, it does look like Fortnite in a lot of ways. Um, it it looks surprisingly good. I think it's gonna be one of the ones to watch to see
Yeah,
how it
for
plays
sure.
out.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot to learn about it. It's like kind of a I don't know, high skill ceiling maybe, depending on how
Yeah,
you play.
yeah. There's nothing else to say. It looks pretty interesting. We got to pay attention to. Another
For sure.
one that is coming out that we should probably mention is Resident Evil 4. That comes out March 24th. So that's gonna be on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And this is a remake, probably the one of the most anticipated in a long time. And I think it's pretty crazy how Resident Evil's still going.
Dude,
Have you played Resident Evil 4? I know you're excited, right?
you want to
Yeah,
ask that
he
again? You want to
knows.
ask that again, Mike? You already know I've
I'm
been playing
sorry,
this
dude.
game,
I'm
bro.
I'm trolling with
I
you.
feel like I beat this game like 3 or 4 times. Like, dude, it's I mean, it's an iconic game. It's like,
It is.
Resident Evil's first kind of endeavor into the over the shoulder too, and it was just
That's
so
a
well done.
fact.
Yeah,
It
this
was perfect.
yeah, there's a lot of and it came out on everything too, and it ran well. Like, I mean, dude,
It
come
looks
on.
so clean,
I
dude.
mean, yeah, and dude, Capcom with these remakes, dude.
Dude,
They do
that
these remakes way too well, and so like, this is one of the few things. It's like, yeah, they're remakes. They're not like it's not original material, but like,
right.
it's just so well done. It's just like I still look forward to it. It's like still something I'm definitely gonna check out and play and probably enjoy because even the new
Yeah.
Resident Evil games and these old remakes are just fantastic. I mean, my only gripe for Resident Evil 3 is that the remake was way too short. But I mean,
Yes.
it's like my only issue is that it was too short. Like, it played
Didn't
well
they
otherwise.
charge full price too?
They sure
I
did,
think that was
and
one of
it's
their yeah, there
yeah,
was
they did, and it was just too short. I mean, that's I only complain about that game though, for real. Like, the graphics are fantastic. For what
yeah,
it was a solid game. Just wish it was longer. That's all.
that's true. Uh, let's switch over to the next game, which you're not showing. We can mention it anyway since it's already there. I think this is Crime Boss, is it not? Yeah, it's Crime Boss Rockay
Yeah,
City.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the release date on that. I think yeah, I'm out of order here. I think it's March 28th, 2023. It is on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and that's basically like a four-person co-op style game. It reminds me a little bit like Left 4 Dead, traveling from one
Oh yeah,
location
I
to
remember
another.
seeing this.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead
Yeah,
or what's the other game? Back for Blood.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, working together as a team, trying to get it out. It's a heist game in that aspect, but seems pretty cool.
yeah. I remember. I think it's the game I saw. There was like a bunch of like Hollywood actors in it, like playing
Yeah, yeah,
characters and stuff.
actually.
So yeah, yeah, it should be
Yeah,
exciting.
there's several Hollywood actors in there from like Guardians of the Galaxy. The guy that has like the needle thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Let's go to the next game. So MLB The Show 2023. One of the coolest things I remember about MLB is playing a perfect game where it was like no hits, nobody on bat or buddy on base and stuff like that. And it was impossible to do in the game. So much so that like I think is it by EA MLB The
That's a
Show?
good
I
question. I feel like because
think it
I know it was a
is or
Sony
2K.
exclusive at one point. I think it was a separate entity. It was like one of those weird sports games where it wasn't a part of the big thing, I thought.
No, it's not. Sony, San Diego, and 989 Studios,
Yeah.
published by Sony and MLB Advanced Media. So basically, MLB The Show was doing this thing where, like, if you actually did a perfect game, they would mail or like forward you all the money in the world. I forgot how much the prize was, but it
Oh
was
yeah.
like literally impossible. This game comes out on every platform March 28th. So if you've ever played any sporting game, it's just a sport game. Probably
Yeah.
added more characters, updated graphics, stuff like that.
Yeah. Sure. Even
Yeah.
just a side note, too, I'm pretty sure baseball's in what, like, spring training or something like that. What do they call it?
Yeah.
Where it's like the spring, like before the yeah, whatever. There's baseball games going on right now. It's not part of the regular season, but it actually is starting
It's
back
like
up. So
warm
it's
ups almost.
yeah, it's like fitting because it's about to start back. So
Yep. The next game that I'm very excited about personally, this is on PC. It is The Last of Us Part 1 release.
oh baby, shout
So
out Last of Us to HBO.
yes, March 28th. So many games releasing on March 28th. That is 3 total. So yeah, that's on PC. I don't know what to say. Is like if you're watching The Last of Us like live action on HBO series, you should be playing this game.
You should.
Like
If
honestly.
you have not played this game, you should play it. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you're watching the series, you may not want to like spoil the series, which is perfectly fine. But after the series is done in 2 weeks, go back and play
Yeah.
this game because like by this will come out I think 2 weeks after the series is done. So
Yeah.
it'll be a
At
good
least
thing
season 1.
if you have a PC. I mean, yeah, it'll be worth getting. I think especially if you haven't played it before.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. By the way, Last of Us, awesome, awesome, awesome last episode.
Dude, episode is
Definitely recommend everybody go check it out.
bang.
So good.
It's so good. It's the DLC, man. It's the prequel, if you will.
It
It's so
really
good.
is. All right, and the last game from the top 10, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I kind of forgot until I watched the video and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's coming out." Okay, so The Great War, Western Front, March
Great
30th.
War.
So I'm a big fan of World War One, World War Two games. The Great War, Western Front. Pretty sure it's an RTS mostly. Let me get the full description for you
That's
so
what
I
it
can.
looks like. I'm not gonna lie. If I was a gambler, man.
All right, let me. It is. Let me read it out. Let me help people. The Great War, Western Front, is an upcoming real-time strategy video game based in the First World War. So the gameplay is basically based around the player chooses to play in either the Central Powers or the Allied Powers, will both having unique gameplay features and abilities. The RTS segments of the game Players can spend gold and supplies in order to construct an intricate network of trenches, machine gun nests, artillery batteries, and observation balloons in the setup phase of each combat engagement. So basically, it's an RTS. We haven't seen a good RTS come out in a long time. I feel like a lot of people have been saying that genre is dead. I think bringing the aspect of historical events, real life battles into an RTS is perfect.
I think so
So
too. Look at
it's gonna be
this.
on
Look at
PC
the snow.
March 30th, man.
I was watching the video. See this weather? It's crazy.
Yeah, it looks
Other
good. It
facts. Oh man, this is
looks
it.
clean. Yes, sir. I mean, so those are basically all the games that I got for this month. I know we have several more that we actually post every single month at the beginning of every month.
Yeah.
A list of games that are coming out. And I mean, outside of that, did you see any other games that you thought might be worth a mention?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I noticed anything. Um, yeah, I mean those of course. I mean those. I think that top 10 was pretty solid in terms of the games I think you should really look out for. But like I said, I mean every game that comes out this month, we listen to the Discord. So it's always worth popping in and seeing what's coming out. Um, yeah, there was nothing else that came to mind for me. That's for sure.
I was thinking maybe Dredge, which is now that's even an indie game. There's really not much else. March isn't really the main month for video games.
It's not, man. It's so crazy
It's
because it's like
really not.
March to what feels like July, August. It's like that's
It's
kind
like
of
no,
like that's the off season almost. But
yeah, it's
I mean, I say off
everything's in
season, but
development.
yeah, I say off season, but there's bangers. Like
Yeah,
Resident Evil 4. It's probably a big deal.
Resident Evil 4 is
Um,
coming out. We got Lost of Us
I
being
mean,
ported to the PC.
not
Like,
this month, but I'll just say it. Dead Island 2 next month, maybe,
yeah.
hopefully.
Oh God, let's not even get into that again.
uh,
Just like no, hold on. I wanted to say Sea of Thieves, but Sea of Thieves is actually out. What am I thinking of? Skull and Bones.
Some modes,
Yeah,
next year,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Of course, yeah. We'll see a Skull and Bones. No problem. See it in 3 months.
Yeah.
Never happening. Never gonna
Listen,
happen.
listen. Also, we didn't put it in
Yes.
this. I did see a rumor. I didn't put it in the articles this week. However, we are supposed to be hearing about an announcement for a Starfield showcase soon. It's supposed to be
Yes.
any day now, I think is what they were saying. So probably either over this weekend or early next week. I'm confident we'll
Yeah.
probably hear about a scheduled showcase to kind of go through the game a little bit more. So that's exciting.
I've seen that a couple of times. I've also seen rumors of a new Nintendo console on the
Yeah.
horizon.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I think there's gonna be plenty of good games coming out this year in particular. It might just not be this month. But
Yeah.
again, these are only the top 10. There are plenty of games coming out there. I think there's something like a list of 30 or 40 coming out in this month alone, and some of them are indie, some of them you have to look into. Um, Probably the coolest one that I think might be worthwhile just to watch is this Deceive
Yeah.
game that looks similar to Fortnite. It looks kind of nutty.
Yeah. It looks pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. Either that or the heist game that can be fun for a while. You just gotta have three other dedicated people with you, so you have like a proper 4-player co-op game.
No. The only thing about
Yeah.
Deceive, I have this video at 1080 60. I don't think it's 60. So it's like 30 FPS, but
No,
could
really?
be wrong. It could just be something up with the capture or something.
Yeah, you might be right. It doesn't look too clean.
It doesn't look as as fluid as 60 FPS. But
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe it is. Maybe it is, and they just didn't record it like that for some reason.
Well, we'll play it out. We'll see what happens.
See what
Let's
happens.
not rule it out now. I don't know about you, but I always watch streams on Twitch, on YouTube, watch
Yeah,
gameplay, watch my
you have
favorite
to.
YouTubers react to it and stuff like that. That's kind of the only way for
Yeah,
me to
it's
handle it.
the only solid way to figure out if you actually want the game or not. That's the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I do love how Switch right now, not Twitch, Switch right now is bringing more and more games to like Nintendo's bringing more and more games to the Switch. Like I feel like it's been too long for that to happen.
Yeah,
Only a matter of time, baby. I know it's gonna be cloud right now, but it's only a matter of time until the new console drops. And they're just like, by the way, here's a proper console, and then they just drop it like it's hot. Bring back the N64 remastered, but it can do everything.
yeah.
You know they're gonna do that eventually.
dude.
So,
We're what 6 years into the Switch this month. Marks 6 years. It's crazy to
that's
think
a long
about.
time for a console. That's
Yeah,
a long time for a console.
yeah, it sure
OLED
is.
doesn't really count, but who knows? They'll bring something out. Nintendo always innovates.
They always do. They got to
Always
be working on
innovates.
something crazy. They're very
Yeah.
creative. They take their time with it clearly, so I'm excited.
Shit. No kidding. But I guess without further ado, do we have anything else to add? I feel like it wasn't a super big month, but I feel like it was a fine month. You know what I mean?
Bit of work. We got stuff to
Or
talk about.
week. Excuse me.
You know, we always got stuff to talk about. Banger alert.
Alrighty. Well. Alrighty. So let's let the people go. Let's let them have the week that they want to have. And thank everybody for tuning in, shall we?
Oh,
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the episode of M2 Podcast. This is episode 8. Can you believe it already? 8 weeks in, 2 months
I
in.
don't know. I know. You already know the deal.
Yeah.
Check the
I think
description. Links to all the
fact.
articles. All down there.
Timestamps, everything. We got Discord, we got Twitter. You can follow. You can let us know your thoughts and opinions in the sections of your choosing. And
Yep.
overall, thank you all for listening. We do appreciate you. We appreciate the time you give us, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
So we'll catch you later. I'm your host, Michael Anthony, co-host Kyle Heath. We're going to sign out. Thank you very much. Peace
Thanks for
out.
listening, everyone. Peace.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Have a good day.
Bye.